Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. I know it's been quite some time since I've done a video, but I've been pretty busy with, lots of things and stuff. So I've been waiting to do this video for quite some time, put a lot of prep and a lot of thought into it. So hope you guys enjoy this one today. So this video is about, this is my top 10 favorite video games of all time. Obviously, I've been playing games for quite some time, so a lot of these games will be very old and whatnot. And that's also part of the criteria I made for this video. Each of these games must be at least 3 years old, with the newest game being 5 years old on this list. So a lot of these will be from the late 90s, early 2000s, so on and so forth. Also, these have to be something that I would want to or have already gone back and played through multiple times. It's got to have that replayability aspect to it, in my opinion, that is. It also has to have that nostalgic aspect, which brings me back to some sort of childhood state, makes you feel all giddy inside, all that fluffy stuff, whatnot. It just makes you feel young again, which is what most of these games do anyways. And also the last point is that it cannot have, or I cannot have multiple entries in the same series or the same franchise on this list, which, I mean, probably doesn't change it a whole lot, but, just trying to have some variation among this list. So without further ado, let's get on to it. Before we get to the list, here's 3 games that just missed getting on the top 10. So first off, we have Battletanks 2 Global Assault.
Nuke deployed.
Super Smash Bros. For the N64, the original.
Show me your moves.
And F-Zero X. Starting this list off, we have Roller Coaster Tycoon for the PC. Now this game appeals to the businessman side of me because you make a lot of the business decisions, like setting prices, trying to set how much food and drinks to offer, how much obviously you're going to charge to get into the park, how much you're going to charge for rides, so on and so forth. You set the salaries for your employees. You do all these sort of decisions because you're running a business, and I really enjoy that part of it. And I also like this game because it lets my creativity be tested with the custom roller coasters, the rides, the park setups, and it also allows you to get the feedback from your guests, because you can, for whatever reason, you can read their thoughts, if you know what they like, what they don't like, and you adjust your business model and your business decisions based off of their thoughts, and it helps you get more progress towards your goal. Another reason this was on the list is because it was one of the first games I ever played, and it was the first PC game I ever played. So being a first or one of the originals also helps it get on the list. Next on the list, we have 007 GoldenEye for the N64. This game was not only revolutionary for the gaming industry, but it was also monumental for the first-person shooting genre, because without this game, there would be probably no COD, no Halo. This is the beginning of the first-person shooting part. This is what popularized the FPS genre. and it just so happens to be based off of my favorite Bond movie of all time. So that helps it as well. Now, a little more about this game. The campaign was great because it was so closely based off of events in the movie and scenes in the movie, and the multiplayer also kept you and your friends just busy for hours and hours on end. But probably one of the most entertaining parts of this would be the future updates, because they're funny, they're fun to do once you've already gone through the game. Now you can just mess around and blow everything up. Coming in at number 8 is Midnight Club 3. Now this is the only strictly racing game on this list. I'm not really that into racing in video games, and I'm not really that good at it, but this game's a little different. This was one of the first racing games I ever had, and I just fell in love with this thing from the start. The story was pretty cool, some of the characters that you talked to, with very few, were pretty cool, and the open world aspect was also amazing. This is my first open world type game, and I just played this constantly. It was also one of the first games I played through to 100% completion. Side missions, collectibles, everything. I did everything this game had to offer. Raced everybody, beat everybody. It was a very, very cool game. The music was great, the cards and the controls were well put together, well balanced, and this game is just amazing. I highly recommend that you go on the PlayStation Store right now and go buy it, because they just added it recently. Coming in at number 7, we have Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I really love Dragon Ball Z. I used to watch it with my older brother every Saturday when the new episodes came on. We fell in love with it. We loved the characters, the screaming, shouting, all sorts of stuff. So that really brings me back to that nostalgic aspect that I mentioned before. This is also one of, if not the first Dragon Ball Z game I've ever owned. And it was widely considered to be one of the best Dragon Ball Z games that have ever existed to this point. So there's a lot going for this thing already. I played the heck out of this game when I got it. I still go back from time to time just to replay some of the battles from the old anime show, which is one of the modes that they had in this amazing game. The character list was amazing, fairly well balanced, so even Tokyo could hold his own against the Super Saiyans every now and then. This is an overall fantastic game, and I would love for this to have some sort of series reboot with all the new characters from Dragon Ball Super. At number 6, we've got Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2. This is one of 2 Star Wars games on the list, and it's easily the best in the 4 Battlefront series. Star Wars is my favorite movie franchise. I go to the premieres when they come out every single year, the first showing, the first day. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And having a game like this, especially with the Galactic Conquest mode, which, you know, if they had that in any of the new Battlefronts, they'd be halfway decent games. But putting that aside, using that mode, you can just play it for hours and hours on end. They've got all sorts of vehicles, they've got turrets. Each one of them is map specific, world specific. All the different types of stormtroopers you can use for classes. It's really fun. It's a pretty easy game, not gonna lie, but the space battles are kind of not the best, but the shooting part was good. The Galactic Conquest part was great. The amount of versatility this game had for when it came out was unmatched. Now at number 5, we've got GTA 5. Now this is the newest game on the list, and it is one of the highest grossing and most sold games in history. This game was groundbreaking when it was released and still holds many records for most sales in the first 24 hours, first week, first month, and so on. It's the third best-selling game of all time, just passing Wii Sports within the past year, and has over 90 million copies sold worldwide. This game and number 4 are probably the two games I've put the most time into. Actually, I've easily put the most time into these games, and for good reason. The sheer attention to detail that Rockstar put into this thing was amazing. And for someone who's highly critical of all the small things, as I am, I could really appreciate what they did. This game has just about everything you can think of. You can race, you can start heists, you can explore, you can just screw around, whatever you want. Obviously, you can steal cars. It's kind of sort of the name of the game. Steal, sell, buy cars, and customize them to whatever you like. Not to mention it has one of the best campaigns that I've ever played before. Coming in just above GTA 5, we've got Minecraft at number 4. This next one on the list is another sandbox type game like GTA, but with a completely different style of gameplay and a completely different target audience in mind. This game is the second most sold game in history, with 144 million copies sold across over half a dozen different platforms. And as I've said, I've probably put about as much time into this thing as I have in GTA. I started playing Minecraft about a year before I got my first GTA game, so that's part of the reason why it's above it on the list. But this game also has a lot to offer itself. I'm huge into architecture and building things. I played with Legos when I was younger, more nostalgia. And being able to create whatever you want with no limits, it was just amazing. This is a completely do whatever you want game with no real story, no campaign, and until the Ender Dragon was put in here, there was really no end to it, so it just went on forever. I also love the idea of the blocky, pixely look because it just further emphasized that this game is more about what you can come up with and not how good or polished it might look. Now before we get to the top 3, I'm going to have a few honorable mentions. These games are just not quite old enough to have met my criteria to get on the list, but I wanted to mention them just because they're really, really fun games. First off, we've got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And next, like every college student such as myself is playing these days, we've got Fortnite.
You seen anybody?
Yes, at 201 in the little fort, the very far side. What if?
Now onto the top 3. These games are on here mostly for pure nostalgia. At number 3, we've got Lego Star Wars, the video game. The opening scene alone still gives me chills to this day and brings me back to that time when I got this game on my 10th birthday and I was the happiest kid in the world. Part of the reason I loved Minecraft so much because I loved architecture and loved playing with Legos when I was younger, and this game combined Lego and Star Wars, like I was all over that. I love finally being able to wield the Lego lightsabers, Anakin Skywalker, and act out that final battle scene from Episode 3. It was just amazing.
Hello!
Now at number 2 on the list, we've got Super Mario 64. This is yet another one of the all-time greats and another monumental achievement in gaming history. This was also the plumber's first time to have a 3D game, and man, did this go above and beyond all of our expectations. My brother and I played this all the time when we were growing up, and we actually did a speedrun challenge with this game, which is a couple other videos on our channel. Shameless plug right there. if there was a such thing as Mount Rushmore of video games, Mario would definitely be one of the few people on this thing. The controls were pretty great considering there's only one joystick, and this was made in the mid-90s, but this game was made very well. The music and map layouts are staples and they're icons in the Mario franchise. Finally, topping this list off at number 1, we've got Spyro, Year of the Dragon. I honestly can't remember when or how I got this game, but I'm so thankful that I did. I've probably taken the time to replay through this entire game and beat it 5 or 6 times to 100% completion, and maybe another 6 or 7 times just to play through it quickly, just for fun. This game takes me way back to my elementary days. I came home from school, I did my homework sometimes, and would play this game until I went to bed, which this may be a little exaggerated. This game doesn't take itself too seriously, but it can also be a bit challenging from time to time. Well, at least for kids, because it's a kids game. It's not hard for a kid like me. I've got just about every egg, every skill point, every gem, every corner of this map memorized because I've played through this so many times. I've really never gotten tired of replaying it over and over. There's so much to do in this game. There's a lot to explore, as well as getting to play as several different characters or animals throughout this game. So they've got races, they've got a skateboard you can ride around and do tricks on. It's just a really, really cool game. Well, there's my top 10. What do you guys think about that? And I've got a little challenge for you. What would be on your top 10 if you had to make one?
Alright, try to build a little base.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and comment and subscribe for more videos like this. See you later.
Yes, yes, yes. To your right, to your right. Alright, build some stairs, build some stairs. Do you have a shotgun?
Yeah.
Alright, well go rape him. Oh, let's go! Get it, get it, get it! He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming! Kill him, kill him, kill him!